For my 7th and 8th Titan pulls, I pulled the same exact champion back to back, and originally I wasn't too excited to play them, and then I started learning a bit more about their kits, and realized actually they have a lot of really cool things in their kits that can be useful for a lot of stuff. And that champion, of course, you can see is Luke Cage. So there's when I initially pulled him. That was from July 4th rewards. And then this Titan Crystal, which is where I'm going to dupe him, was my 8th one, which I got after the Alliance War Showcase. And just a heads up for Luke Cage, you don't need to play him duped. I know that's a question I'm probably going to get asked a lot in the comments. You do not need him to be duped at all. It's very unnecessary. It's just a nice safety net for Battlegrounds a lot because he gains an indestructible when you would get hit. And then of course it has a cooldown, but that's just going to save you a lot of like health points in Battlegrounds and stuff. And you know, it's helpful in War and such. And I believe you can use it to push champions to SP3s. So in War, that's like almost a free indestructible boost sometimes. So yeah, Luke Cage is very cool, and I hear a lot of people saying that he is a bad champion, he's outdated. I don't know how you can call him outdated when he is one of the 2 most recent buffs, I think. He might be the most recent. I don't have my numbers remembered correctly, but he's very recent for the buff program, so we're going to show a basic rotation here. I think he only has like 1 real rotation, where it's just you get to your SP2 and then you spam SP1s on the way out. The only thing you really need to keep up is your Debilitate debuff, which extends the duration of your debuffs. You get that from your heavy attack, and it's useful to have pretty much at all times because you want all of your debuffs to have extended duration. It's just really nice to get that. So 39k heavy attack, that's really nice. And we're gonna go for a special 1 here. And what I should do is double medium into a full combo, but instead I just finished my combo, so I wasted some time on that stun, unfortunately, but it's all good. We're fine. Basically, if you don't know how Luke Cage works, he places exhaustions on his light attacks, and then for each debuff on the opponent, you're going to get more damage, and you place a lot of the exhaustions, which is going to give you more damage. You place a concussion on your SP2, which is very, very helpful, and against Mystics, you can like reduce ability accuracy by 150%. You're going to see some of that here against this Juggernaut. So his concussion is extremely powerful. Like, think about how powerful Archangel's neurotoxins reducing ability accuracy are, and Luke Cage kind of has that on his SP2. So it's really, really strong, and we're going to see a little bit of examples of that later in the video, why the concussion is really, really nice. So once you get the concussion from your SP2, you're going to be throwing a bunch of SP1s, which are going to do burst damage, and that's kind of just what you want to do for the rest of the fight. So here we're going to drop my SP2, and it's going to place the concussions, and Juggernaut is going to be no longer able to get a unstoppable on his special attacks, so that's really cool. And then you saw my my indestructible trigger, which just made it to where Juggernaut couldn't hurt me, which is really nice. And yeah, we're just gonna spam SP1s from here on out, and this Juggernaut is gonna melt pretty fast. Now, one thing that you do need to know about Luke Cage is that if you absolutely need a champion who can kill in 30 seconds, he's not your guy. He's not gonna be Silk, he's not gonna be Titania, he's not gonna be Hulk. But he has really, really good utility, and his damage is also very, very solid. You just need a little bit of time to get it. So, about people calling Luke Cage a bad Titan champion, fair. I mean, he's definitely one of the lower end in the pool, but he's also very good enough to deserve being in the pool, I think. Especially when you don't need to have him duped at all to play him. I think pulling Luke Cage is still a very good Titan pull, even though it might not be on the top end of the crystal. Like, I'd rather pull a Luke Cage a little bit more than like a Spider-Punk and some of the other new characters in the pool. So I'm actually very glad that I did get this guy. So next up, we're gonna be taking him into some off-season war fights, and this was like before I did the Realm of Legends fights, so I didn't even know his rotation fully, so like I should have started the fight with a heavy attack and such. So it was a little stupid on my part. Again, I was still kind of learning the rotation. So we dropped the SP2 here, and it places the 2 concussions, And what that will mean is that now I'm not going to get faltered. If Maw hit me with his SP2, I wouldn't get degened. I'd also trigger indestructible, so there's literally no downside to getting hit with Maw's SP2 at that point. So yeah, literally Maw's just shut down here. The only thing that I really don't know if the concussion would stop is the node that would trigger guaranteed crits. Or I mean, well, the node would probably stay. I probably would still get a guaranteed crit if I finished a combo with a light attack. And I'd assume Maw wouldn't make that miss, the concussions, I think. I didn't try it in the fight just because I didn't want to risk it, but I don't think I would miss if I did that guaranteed crit attack that I would get from the node. So that's the first fight we're taking with Luke. The next fight is going to be against this Rintra here. Rintra doesn't really benefit from the nodes. He's on this node. He is mainly a path splitting placement right here, but we're going to see how well Luke Cage can do for him. And my favorite thing about Luke Cage for Rintra is the fact that Luke has access to Sunder. And Sunder is one of the most underrated debuffs for a Science Champion, in my opinion, because there are a bunch of champs in this game with crit resist, and they are the most common in the Mystic class, I think. So Sunder completely removing that crit resist from champs like Rintra and Doom just makes it so much better for champs who rely on basic attack numbers like Luke Cage kind of does, and just like white and yellow numbers to deal damage. Well, Luke Cage is just going to have more access to that kind of thing. And here you can just see the concussions are making it to where he's not gaining any more mystical charges. Like, the cow is just completely shut down here. Those concussions are just so powerful and so useful that, you know, it just makes this fight a really easy time. And yeah, those exhaustions are still paused and stuff. Now they're ticking again, but then we're going to pause them right there. This pause isn't very long in the special one, but it's still nice to have. And then that Rintra goes down just like that. So again, not like the craziest fast fight, but still very effective. So last up, we're going to fight this Kindred on node 45, which is Hazard Shift, Bleed, and Shock. And we have an Odin with us, so we're not going to worry about the shock phase. Luke is immune to bleed, so that part we never have to worry about. And basically, we have Conflictor here, which is going to be impactful early in the fight, but fun fact, exhaustions reduce ability power rates, so once we get those ticking, then the ability power rate he's going to gain from Conflictor is going to be much less. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to get into the fight. This isn't going to go very well. Again, I'm still learning Luke's rotations a little bit in this fight because this was before I did the Realm of Legends fights. But we're still going to be able to solo the fight. After it, I'm going to show you how perfectly Luke shuts down Kindred after this fight. Because of this one not going very well, I do want to show you how he does for Kindred, because he is legitimately maybe the best Kindred counter in the game because of how easily he shuts him down. So Kindred did not feel like throwing a special for a while, so that kind of sucked. We lost all our exhaustions and stuff. I really should have a debilitate debuff on him. I should have worked harder to get that, but it's okay. We're going to go for an SP2 pretty soon, and he's just not throwing his special attacks, which really sucks. But there he finally does, and now we're in Outbreak. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But we placed our concussions here, and one of them... No, they don't get eaten by Conflictor. Okay, we only could place one, though. Or maybe one did get eaten by Conflictor. I'm not sure. Either way, we have a concussion active, which is nice. It reduces his ability accuracy by 70%, and or 75, I think. We eat the SP1 there, which sucks, but it's okay. And from here on out, we can shut off Kindred's root if we had the concussion active during when the root would trigger, but I'm not going to have that just because I didn't line the fight up very properly. So that's a little unfortunate, and that's why I'm going to show you this matchup again after this fight ends. But you're going to see we're going to be able to finish the fight really fast from here on out. We go for the special 2, break out of his root immediately, and the Kindred's dead. And obviously this was off-season war, so I didn't boost, so this fight would be so much better even if I did. And yeah, so we're just going to finish off the video showing you how to take Kindred with Luke Cage, because again, he is just very, very good for this matchup. once the fight loads there, finally does. I'm just using my rank 1 6-star Luke to fight my rank 5 Ascended Kindred. Again, just to show you a little bit of what to do for this fight. I should be throwing a heavy attack. I think I'm going to do it a little closer to when I get to 2 bars of power. Like right there. I throw the heavy attack, get the debilitate, and now I just need to counter Kindred's SP1. Once I get this counter, I'm almost at my SP2, and once the SP2 is thrown, the fight's over. We have it won at that point, because the concussions are just going to put in so much work for us. So you're going to see once we get into the R2ed phase, he's going to use his like call out and everything. You think you've won? Yes, I have, because you didn't trigger your R2ed there, Kindred. So anyway, that is going to be the end of the video. Luke Cage is really, really good. Anyone calling him a bad champ is just wrong. He doesn't have the 30-second killing Battlegrounds potential, but he does have good damage still, and his concussions are just so good. His ability power control with the exhaustions is just really good too. And yeah, I really hope this video was insightful for you. If you liked it, hit the like and sub button, all the YouTube jazz I'm supposed to tell you about, and I'll see you in the next video.